Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is a thoroughbred underdog, and welcome to another episode of Dog's Day, or shall I say Dog's Night. It is June 14th, 2025, and I want to start off by saying Happy Men's Mental Health Month. June is Men's Mental Health Month, as well as Happy Pride Month to those of you who are a part of the LGBTQ community. We're gay friendly around here. We invite all comers here on the Thoroughbred Underdog channel. The gay community, only real fans know, right? So if you celebrate either Men's Mental Health Month, Pride, or both, even more the merrier, right? I hope it's been a good one for you. I think it's just crazy how both are celebrated in the same month because, there are a lot of gay men, people of the LGBTQ community who deal with mental health, issues, depression, stress, feeling ostracized, feeling like they don't belong, feeling like they're being bullied or attacked or treated, maltreated because they identify as a certain, gender or, they feel they're this way or they're attracted to the same sex or what have you. So I think it's kind of a cool, kind of thing how both of them are celebrated in the same month. And me, myself, I'm not a gay guy. I'm not straight. Did I just say I'm not straight, but I'm not gay? I'm straight. I like women. I'm heterosexual, but I got a lot of gay friends. And I myself deal with depression. This past week alone has been very hard for me. I haven't, not going to get into why, but it's been a very, melancholy week for me. So I've dealt with depression my whole life, insomnia, what have you. So men's mental health is a very major deal for me. I feel like we are very overlooked, and men's mental health is something that's always been overlooked, not just America, but the world, because we're men, We're supposed to always put on this tough exterior and, surface, and we're deemed weak if we cry. We're deemed weak if we let things out and express how we feel. And, I think that people forget that you can't spell human without man. We're human, doesn't even make up. If you're a man out there and you're depressed, you're sad, you're stressed, reach out to somebody, man. It doesn't make you any less of a man to hit up your brother, call your friend and say, hey, man, I just want to talk. I'm a little down. You feel like listening, or even give them an open ear, and say, hey, I'm keeping my line open from this time to this time. If you got something in your mind, I'll just listen, and I'll be there for you as a brother. So we as men, we got to look out for each other because there are so many situations that have occurred in life, tragedies, that probably could have been prevented if somebody just had somebody listen to them and talk to them and reach out to them and say, look, don't do this. In wrestling, the most infamous case is Chris Benoit. We know that Chris Benoit, largely concussions and several shots to the head. You could look up a compilation or two on YouTube about all the times Chris Benoit took shots to the head or fell on his head or got dropped on his head or been hit with chairs. But a lot of people think the second catalyst was losing Eddie Guerrero, And I think we all can relate to losing somebody that we consider a best friend. It could be our wives, it could be our girlfriends, it could be your boyfriend, your husband, your mom, your dad, your brother, your colleague. Losing a best friend does something to people. It could fuck you up, especially when you're the one that still has to live with the loss. Some of these people that we have in our lives are so a part of us that when we lose them for even a little bit, we get despondent, we get sad, we get disconsolate, we get down. It can be very hard to get us elevated again, get us back up, put our heads back up, and bring us back to reality. I think Chris Benoit losing Eddie. I think Chris Benoit died when Eddie Guerrero died. I think Eddie and him were so, much best friends and brothers that, it fucked him up. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what video I was watching. I think somebody was saying, I don't know if it was Chris Benoit himself, but he was saying that, every time Chris Benoit would be at his worst and Eddie would talk him out of it. And who's to know what talk him out of it could have been. It could have been situations where what happened with him and Nancy and Daniel could have happened much earlier than in 2007. But Eddie reached out to Chris and told him, like, look, dude, just fucking relax. You know what I'm saying? So reaching out to people and talking to people and extending a hand and being there for people as a man without worrying about, oh, well, this makes me a little feminine, or this, if I go this far, it makes me, I'm sensitive, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, you're a man. We're human. Reach out to your brothers, man, and just see how everybody's doing. That's my mental health message. And actually, I think I had a moment earlier when I was cleaning up the parking lot at McDonald's. Yes, everybody knows I work at McDonald's. You see the shorts, McDonald's and Walmart. But I was cleaning up the parking lot. I'm maintenance there, right? And, like I said, I've dealt with depression this past week. I haven't really had the communication for reasons that I would like to with my significant other. And, she's a part of me. She's a part of my daily life. And I love her. And when they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. But for me, that's true. But it's also, I get really sad when I don't hear from people I love. That's really a part of my daily life. I miss them. That makes me human. So, in my life, I felt that I was just in a parking lot. When you clean up the parking lot, you can listen to a podcast. You think about a lot of things on your mind. And, I've gotten more viewers from the shorts and the random wrestling ideas since I've become a thoroughbred underdog than I did, anything else. So back when I first posted these in wrestling life videos, I barely got views. It was my first foray into this channel making those videos. And I'm just about wrapped up with episode of season 2 as far as like things I want to cover. And I came up with the last episode today. I wanted to do 8 to 10 episodes. And for those of you who don't know, who haven't watched the previous episodes, what wrestling life is I'll talk about life and, a very philosophical manner, but I'll do it in the form of wrestling terminology. So back to the story here. I was cleaning the parking lot. I was just thinking about, man, how life, like, it seems like everything good I ever had in my life, I had to fight for. It wasn't easily acquired. I went through blood, sweat, and tears to get. I had to relocate. I had to, lose somebody, sacrifice something. Or, if I got it, it was always a catch or a caveat or something I had to contend with just to have it or get it. And it reminded me of a wrestler who just can't get a clean win. And then I thought about it. I'm like, there we go. It's Men's Mental Health Month. And that was a dilemma I feel I've had in my entire life, is that, wow, like, I just can't get a clean win in life. Why can't I just find success where I'm at? Why can't, you know, this have happened earlier in life, or I found this person earlier in life, or in a part of their life where we didn't have to deal with this issue. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's all about the fight. And that gave me an idea for an episode for In Wrestling Life Season 2. So, the very first episode I'm going to do this week, and with it being Men's Mental Health Month, I think the clean win is a good episode to start with, because it's something that's very topical and relevant and fresh on my mind about, you know, I think it'll resonate with a lot of you guys, because some of you all may feel the same way, like, wow, man, like, every time something good happens in my life, or somebody good happens in my life, I have to go through fucking Hell in a Cells and cage matches and gauntlet matches and I Quit matches and, you know, other metaphorical wrestling matches in life to get it. It's like, I don't expect to just be given a championship like Triple H, but fuck, do I have to go through the ringer? Like, I have to go through the Mark Henry, Kofi Kingston push to get this shit. You know, it took them both about 10 to 15 years to win their first championships. Mark Henry was in WWE since 1996. He didn't win his first world championship. I mean, should we really count the ECW one? I don't know. Even then, that was a decade from when he first debuted in WWE. He had that European championship. I don't even know if he was a hardcore champion back in the day, but he won the European championship, which he didn't even win. I think it was given him by Jeff Jarrett. Then he lost it to D'Lo Brown. And then he won the ECW championship in like 2006, 2007. And then he finally won the World Heavyweight Championship in 2011. And then Kofi wins the WWE Championship, I think at WrestleMania, was it 35 against Daniel Bryan, Kofi Mania. Kofi had debuted in WWE in 2008, damn near. So it took him about, well, can I count? That's 11 years, right? Yeah, 11 years to win his championship. First WWE championship, even though Kofi was very decorated and already a Hall of Famer by then, just from the New Day run alone and the multiple Intercontinental Championship runs. And he may have been a world champion back when that Randy Orton feud happened, if he would have been in the right spot for the punt kick, I suppose. But anyway, you know, I'm not going to give you the whole movie in a trailer here, like a lot of these movie trailers do. Like, they give you the whole, you know, if you really go back and watch a lot of the ones from the 70s and 80s, those motherfuckers really gave you the whole movie before you even go see it. Like, wow, I just seen the whole movie right here. It's like, I don't have to go see the movie now. But you kind of had to go see the movie because, shit, there was no such thing as bootleg or streaming back then. But it's just like, wow, you just kind of gave away in the whole trailer here. So the first episode is going to be a clean win. It makes sense for Men's Mental Health Month and the things that have been on my mind that have plagued it. And, you know, I'm not going to expose too much about my romantic situation, because I'm not one of these guys that's going to get on here and you go know my dog's name and you go know my brother's name and my girlfriend's name and, you know, my blood type and social security. It's not going to get that deep with me. I'm going to try to provide you entertaining content, whether it's good or bad, as long as it entertains you. You know, I'm going to talk to you in a way that it feel like you talking to me in person, like a wrestling fan. We go converse. And I'm going to make you think different ways about wrestling. I'm going to give you optics. I'm going to give you perspective. and you go hear my opinion and maybe get something out of it or agree with it or even disagree with it, but it's going to be entertainment. I'm here for entertainment. I ain't trying to get too personal beyond the in wrestling life and giving you some of the things that, advice and philosophies, but in a very wrestling way. So let's get on with Dog's Day. I am getting a little bit better with my organization as far as like the things I want to link you to. Because I go on Instagram, that's where I get a lot of like the meme stuff or like the funny clips. And I'll link you guys to them. Now, there are a few that I want to link you guys to. I'm going to tell you from the beginning. SmackDown was last night, obviously, right? And they're doing King and Queen of the Ring qualifying matches. And my thing is with this King of Queen of the Ring thing is that so many major stars in there. And like you got Cody fighting for one match, and then you got Randy Orton in there. And it's just like, yeah, if these guys weren't in the King of the Ring, they'd probably be in a title picture, but you don't want to have them in a title picture because they were just in a title picture. But it just feels like the King and Queen of the Ring should be for people that's like secondary, mid-carders, Intercontinental Champion tier wrestlers. And now we got Cody up in there, you know what I mean? And Randy Orton. So Randy Orton had a match last night against Carmelo Hayes and LA Knight, triple threat match. And it was a really good match. And the link I'm going to provide you with is going to show all the funny moments. Randy Orton, somebody said in the comments, like, Unc Randy Orton is the best. And I agree. I've always liked Randy Orton. Randy Orton's one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. Okay? RKO is one of my all-time favorite finishers. But my thing about Randy Orton is I've always liked him better when he was just like a babyface not competing for the championship. Like I liked 2000, right when he turned babyface against the Legacy. So we talking about WrestleMania 26 Orton almost. From like 2010 to right when he was starting a feud with like Christian and he put Mark Henry over and gave him his first championship. I like Randy Orton as just like a fun-loving babyface. You know what I'm saying? And then this Randy Orton, now I love Randy Orton as a heel too. Who doesn't like bald 2009 Orton or Legend Killer Orton or second COVID era Legend Killer Orton? You know what I mean? Or even Authority Orton, Evolution Orton. All his heel runs are goated. But this Randy Orton is just like, I'm just fucking, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to have fun. What are they going to do? Fire me? I like this Orton. I like Happy Dad Orton. And I ain't talking about the Happy Dads that Undertaker be cranking up on his podcast, which I guess is slowly resting in peace. I mean, he just had one with him and Michelle McCool, but it's WWE sponsored. It wasn't from his channel. So I hope that comes back because I don't know. I actually like the Undertaker podcast, but every episode started with him and his host drinking a Happy Dad. And they say it just like that. You're going to crank open a Happy Dad. So not the beer or the liquor Happy Dad, but Orton, like Happy Dad Randy Orton, I like. You know, Miles Bourne's dad, Randy Orton. Just having fun in the match. Like, you got to see it. I mean, selling and, doing different poses and smiling a lot in the match and fucking with the referee. When the referee tried to raise his hand, he's like acting like his shoulders messed up. He's like, "Nah, I'm just messing with you." I love Happy Randy Orton. Like, I honestly don't ever want to see Randy Orton be a heel again. And I know a lot of people are like, that's controversial. That's the best Randy Orton. But I'm like, Orton just so past that phase. Like, it's like Shawn Michaels in 2002. Everybody wanted to see Shawn Michaels have a couple of title runs. And it's like, he didn't really need it. He didn't even have to be heel longer than the Hogan program. Even though we wanted that. We got a short title run. It was like a month. He won the first Elimination Chamber. Shawn Michaels competed in so many first matches in WWE history. First real official ladder match. First Hell in a Cell, first Elimination Chamber. Okay. But Shawn Michaels is just there to have fun. Give us some more good matches and just be carefree. We got glimpses of what we knew he could be with that heel run against Hogan and him being a champion, but he didn't really need it. So Orton doesn't really need to be heel again, even though we know that's him at his best, just like we know Shawn Michaels at his best was heel. Don't really need it. But I'll be giving you the link to that video that I saw on Instagram. I almost didn't do a Dog's Day tonight, honestly. Like I said, I've been down because I haven't seen or, really talked to my girl a lot this week. She's very important to me. I love her. So that'd make any man down, right? But, I was also very tired, and I'm feeling like I want to start doing Dogs Days on Sunday nights. Dog Days of Summer, Sunday Night Heat. But it's a lot because, see, I already work both my jobs on Sunday. The thing is, Sunday night when I get off from Walmart, I don't have to go nowhere the next day until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock the next day. Whereas on Saturday nights, I have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get ready to go to McDonald's. So, and then a lot of times I don't know how my sleep pattern is going to be when I get off from McDonald's after I leave on Saturdays. I may go to sleep as soon as I get home. I might try to go to sleep, wake up, go back to sleep, wake up, go back to sleep. And you just never know when you're going to get Dog's Day. But you just know you're going to get it. Because there's no real reason for me to not do it. But just thinking. So, let's get into the meat of the matter. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to link you to, like I said, since I've been doing Dogs Day, I feel like I'm more of a SmackDown person than a Raw person. But we'll go through it. So, let's go to, what about Monday Night Raw? Okay, see what notes I have on that. All right, so obviously SmackDown is a little bit easier for me to go to because it's literally the day before. And by the time I do Dog's Day, Raw was like 5 days ago, right? But Raw had some notable shit happen. First and foremost, Gunther beat Jey Uso for the championship. Jey had a very short run at about 50-some days. World Heavyweight Champion. And Gunther's already won a belt. And I sincerely hope to JBL, that's the wrestling gods, that, oh my God, they didn't give Gunther the belt just so he could face Goldberg at fucking Saturday night's main event. First and foremost, there's been a rumor going around, I don't know, from some interview that Goldberg said he got injured multiple different ways just training for his last match. Okay. I fucking loved Goldberg in 1998. Okay. Loved him. I had all his figures. I had the one with the construction hat on, the motorcycle, the one with the blue, like, metallic blue pants with the motorcycle, the one with just the shorts. They all moved the same way. And then they later made a Mike Awesome figure that moved the same way articulation-wise. Toy Biz had some good WCW figures when they wanted to, as far as articulation for that time. Played with him in the games, played with him in Revenge. That's the only person I really fucked with was him and Kevin Nash. DDP, Sting. I liked all the WCW majors, right? I had all the figures. Liked Goldberg when he came to WWE. He didn't get booked right. He should have won that Elimination Chamber match, right? And then you could have Triple H beat him a month later, Unforgiven, instead. Goldberg in 2025 should not be wrestling. At all. Goldberg got his redemption match when he had that match against Dolph Ziggler. That squash match. Ziggler showed the fuck out and sold his ass off for Goldberg with those spears. That was his redemption match after the shitty match he had with Taker. That was honestly going good until he speared himself against the turnbuckle, which has always been hit or miss literally for Goldberg. It's not the first time he's had that happen. I don't want to see him versus Gunther in 2025. And it's just, okay, so it's a lose-lose situation there. Because, okay, Goldberg loses to Gunther. Okay, Gunther could say he beat Goldberg at his worst and most vulnerable, and he's got all these infirmities or whatever like that. He's broken down. He beat a broken down Goldberg who's like way past his prime. But if Goldberg wins, then you got another Fiend situation. So it's just like, what's the fucking point? What's the point? You know what I mean? Like, there are retirement matches where whoever the opponent is for the wrestler is what makes the fans not care about the match. But for Goldberg, people just don't care about the match at all. Like, when Baron Corbin retired Kurt Angle, I think more people have been okay with Drew McIntyre retiring Kurt Angle because that match was more sad to see because he beat Kurt Angle with the ankle lock and stuff like that. And we know Kurt Angle was washed. But nobody really cared about Baron Corbin. Even Kurt Angle didn't want Baron Corbin to beat him. He wanted John Cena to beat him. It was history there. And then you got Ric Flair's last match, which should have been against Shawn Michaels, beat him and Andrade, who's no even longer married to his daughter, against Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Like, nothing against those guys as wrestlers. Jeff Jarrett is a very good wrestler. Jay Lethal is a very good wrestler. But when you think of retirement matches, which match looks better? From a marquee standpoint, from a legacy standpoint, from a big match value standpoint, Shawn Michaels. So a lot of these retirement matches is the wrestler just not knowing when to say when and not knowing when to leave well enough alone. And this Goldberg one, I can't call it, man. I just don't care for that match. And I think, like, the next Saturday night's main events are also supposed to go against, like, AEW having Okada versus fucking Omega. Yeah, I know what I'm watching that week. Absolutely not. If Goldberg and Gunther is the match, absolutely fucking not. That's just stupid. But Gunther's the champion again. I don't know who else you have beat Gunther. Because Gunther's already lost to Sami Zayn and Jay. If the next person that beat Gunther isn't Dragunov or Braun Breaker, then it don't fucking interest me. Because Gunther is somebody that you make him lose to people carefully. Okay? You have to be very careful who you have him take pins to. Or hell, even where the fuck is Kaiser? If Kaiser got over, maybe he could beat Gunther. But those are the only three people that if Gunther's going to lose his championship again, I want to see him lose to. Or maybe Sami Zayn. Next year's Mania. So, again, that's Dragunov, Kaiser, Breaker, and Zayn. Them are the only people I want to see beat Gunther. Because now he's the champion again. So, we had the promo with CM Punk. We had two promos with CM Punk and Cena. I like the SmackDown one better, even though you could see clearly Punk at some point lost his lines. He's getting up there in age, but he still delivered. The Raw one's okay. R-Truth cut a really good promo on top of a table, and he cut his hair. And it may have been his Stone Cold Steve Austin promo. You know, we've all had those. There's a lot of wrestlers who had promos that were supposed to, like, catapult them. And the biggest misconception about Stone Cold Steve Austin and King Ring promo was that After that, he just immediately went to superstardom. He wasn't even featured at the next pay-per-view that year, which I think was like SummerSlam or something like that. Or Survivor Series. Oh, no, not Survivor Series. It was a big pay-per-view. He wasn't even on it. But that was the catalyst. That was like, okay, the notice me. You know what I'm saying? The map maker, the put me on the map. We was hoping that promo with Cross would have been it. But for R-Truth, this is the promo for him. People are going to remember him getting up on the table at Raw, cutting his hair, and saying that he's Ron Killings now. Now, on SmackDown, they actually called him R-Truth the whole time. But, Raw was very eventful. You had a new champion. You had R-Truth cut his hair on his promo. You got CM Punk challenging Cena, which I would have loved if it had been Cena versus Punk as, SummerSlam or Money in the Bank. Which you still could get it at SummerSlam, but I don't know what we gonna do for SummerSlam now that we're getting it at Night of Champions. These pay-per-views are coming. These PLEs are coming so quick. I mean, goodness. But it was a very good Raw as far as like segments. I mean, Bayley returning, attacked Becky Lynch, which if you look at it while she was getting attacked, Lyra Valkyria is looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, why? Like, so in the opposite way of your enemy, my enemy, and your enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. She wasn't looking at Bayley like that. She was looking at Bayley bemused, like, wait a minute, huh? Like, quizzically staring at Bayley, like, wait, why are you attacking her? You know damn well why she attacked her. You know what I'm saying? She took her out. She didn't even get to compete at Mania. So, that's the reason when you was a tag team champion is because Becky laid out Bayley and became your tag team partner. You was champion for like a day. Tag team champion for like a day. Like, one of the most forgettable tag team reigns of the year. But Bayley returned, Nikki Bella returned, and she actually had a good promo against Liv Morgan. Talking about whose man is Dominic's. Is she, Roxanne's? Is he Roxanne's man or Liv's? That was a good segment. So I might link you to that one. Raw was actually pretty good from a segment standpoint this week. One of the better Raws of the year, if you ask me. And there's also a really good match between AJ Styles and Chad Gable, which is actually a good AJ Styles match because I feel like I said with AJ in a previous video, AJ has just been, okay, I probably pissed a few people off when I said washed. But what I will say about AJ is a lot of the matches that we thought would be good off a hype didn't end up being good as they should have been. Like him versus Shinsuke and him versus Kevin Owens and him versus Logan Paul. All those matches, you would think, wow, these are going to be the match of the nights. And they weren't. Him and KO didn't have any real chemistry at all. You know what I mean? But, I think this match was really good. I also think if you give us just AJ and CM Punk without a triple threat match, that match might actually be good. And, with us going in, thinking it being good and actually come out that way too. So, yeah, you definitely need to see the Ron, Killings promo. I'm not going to call him R-Truth. And there was a big old thing about him, like he had kind of a pseudo shoot promo on Busted Open because he reacted to Bubba Ray saying like, I don't think he should be mentioning Truth. And then Truth just goes off. It's like, who the fuck he talking to? Tell me why I should cut my hair and stuff like that. Don't tell me why I should cut my fucking hair. Like, Truth cursed. He said the F-bomb. So, it's going to be a lot of R-Truth, Ron Killings love in this Dog's Day. Because he's getting over. This serious R-Truth, Ron Killings, is over. Probably only the second most over person in the company right now, newest, freshly over guy in the company right now, aside from Mr. Iguana. who we'll talk about him a little bit later too. With some of the things he said may ruffle some feathers. And my thoughts on that. So if I have to say, you guys gotta go see this, or I'll link this to you, the Ron Killings promo, the Nikki Bella promo, see the AJ Styles versus Chad Gable match, because it's AJ Styles and Chad Gable. That match would have been a crime. Federal offense. The motherfuckers would have been arrested if that match would have been bad. So thank goodness it wasn't. But that's Raw. Now let's go back to the other news this week. So going through Tuesday, NXT, Old Family, Jasper Troy's a botch in this match from a pin perspective. If you go see the match, I'm going to link you to it. So it was a botch in the match. Jasper Troy is going to be something. He damn near bigger than Obafemi. But he's going to be something. But fucking Obafemi hits him with the fall from grace, pop-up powerbomb, and then he pins him, and the referee stops, like, faint 3 counts 3. So Obafemi kept his shirt on. He got Jasper Troy back up, gave him Irish Rip, and gave him another fall from grace. This time, instead of kneeling with it, he just released him like the Kevin Owens style one and pinned him. So it kind of reminds me of that match. There was a match between Kurt Angle and The Rock where The Rock gave Kurt Angle a rock bottom, and the referee, Earl Hebner, did the same thing. Or I think he didn't count. And The Rock's like, count. Fucking count. So he picked him up and he gave him another rock bottom. And he told him to fucking count. And then Earl Hebner counted 3. So we've had, in the recent years, this happened a lot with referees between AEW and WWE, where people don't count or spots have to be redone mid-match where we can see it, not dark match style. And the referee has to count them, the pinfall over. Just really awkward to see. Other than that, that's NXT for me. The only thing noteworthy from that also is that Mariah May is no longer Mariah May. And we got to start paying attention now when people debut in NXT, because we have to pay attention to the announcers and the wrestlers. Because if the announcers just say, oh my, is that who we think it is? Like this is fucking the wrestling games, or like Saints Row, where they don't say the person's name. They just say like, this person's the player. This person's a free agent. They just give them like titles, but they don't say their name. That lets us know that they're probably not going to go by their name prior to WWE. So Mariah May is no longer going to be Mariah May. She got her name. They gave her like a vintage style vignette, her in a tub and stuff like that. And her name will now be Blake Monroe. I don't mind it. She says the inspiration for it is because her niece's name is Blake, and Monroe is obviously from Marilyn Monroe. Shared interests with Tony Storm, because they both seemingly love retro Marilyn Monroe. So it's kind of still a continuation of her from AEW character, just in color instead of black and white. And I don't mind Blake Monroe. I would have liked Mariah Monroe. Even Don Tony was saying that too. I mean, it's a low-hanging fruit, Mariah Monroe. But if she's doing this a homage or homage to her niece, I can't fight that. You got to look out for your little happies in your family. And I'm not mad at that, So go ahead. Blake Monroe. And fucking, I think JC Jane defended her championship against, what's the other girl who debuted? Fuck, I can't think of her name. Fuck, I can't think of her name. But the other girl who debuted, that's so unprofessional. The other girl who debuted against, in the same segment as Blake Monroe, Lainey Reed. She looks like she could be fucking Nikita Lyons' sister. Facially. She looks like she could be, like I said, I think I said last week, she looked like a combination of Nikita Lyons and what's her name? From used to be with Chase U, Thea Hill. She looks like she could either be their sister or they'll fuse together. But she had her match against her. Obviously, she wasn't going to beat Jessie Jane. So, but that's my NXT shit. So, for AEW, MJF made his debut officially as a member of the Hurt Business, and he came out, not the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. He came out with like MVP's like old type bodysuit attire. He even tried to do like the ball and elbow and missed it. But the main thing that made me chuckle this week, AEW got some big matches coming up, man. Fuck, they got Mercedes Moné versus Toni Storm, the two biggest women stars outside of Harley Cameron and Megan Bain. They got them going against each other. And then they got Omega versus Okada, and they're fusing the two championships. I will say one thing about AEW. Their championships are fucking beautiful across the board. It's like they resurrected Reggie Parks or something like that. Rest in peace, Reggie Parks. Those belts are fucking beautiful. I just wish they had more prestige. They got 110 fucking belts, but all of them look good. So that I will give them a compliment to. But they got a lot of big matches coming up. Okada versus Omega, I think 5 or 4. That's going to be fucking awesome. Which, speaking of which, we still haven't gotten an Okada figure from AEW. I don't know what's going on with them and Jazzwares, but they need to get it together because the figure side of AEW has been atrocious the past couple of years. I mean, as far as releases, the time that it takes for them to get here, we haven't been getting them like that. Like, what the fuck, dude? What's going on? I'm curious. What's going on with them and Jazzwares? But, like, Jazzwares has been pumping out the Street Fighter figures. Walmart actually has them now. We got the Fei Long, we got the Chun-Li, and the Ryu. I kind of want to buy them because it's taking forever for me to get my Storm Arena figures. But, damn, like, what's going on with them at AEW? Between QC issues and, showing the time it takes between showing us something at SDCC or whatever event they got going on to when we actually get them, like, what's going on? There have been stars that have been released who have gotten figures quicker than people who have actually been there and had canceled. You know what I mean? Like, we never got an Athena figure. You know what I mean? And she's already, her contract is said to be expiring this summer, and the word is WWE is looking to sign her. I wouldn't mind her back in WWE, but I'm a big figure person. I'm going to be honest with you. AEW makes better women's figures than WWE does. I would have loved to have had a longest reigning women's Ring of Honor champion Athena figure. But I don't know what's going on with that fucking company when it comes to their action figures. Like, where's the Ring of Honor 600-day reign Samoa Joe figure? That's a layup. You got the Ring of Honor license, and we have yet to get a classic Samoa Joe, which I'm sure the articulation is going to suck on anyway, but still. Look at Luchasaurus' figure and Pox. Anyway, I'm not going to get irritated by AEW. Just, MJF is hilarious in whatever he does. Like, a lot of people wish he was still more serious in the title contention. But MJF is just showing you that he's a jack of all trades. He could do comedy. He could do babyface. He could do ring shit, like aerial maneuvers. He could have a great match. He could be a fucking detestable, abominable heel who does reprehensible things. But right now he's showing you that he could be a good member of a stable as comedy fodder. And he had a segment with Mystico and called him Sin Cara, which is hell of a burn. Because Mystico versus Sin Cara, if you take Mystico 06 versus Sin Cara, you wouldn't even think them was the same motherfuckers as far as in-ring work. Mystico in 2006 was one of the top draws in Mexico. Sin Cara was a fucking, I hate that Sin Cara was botched so much because I liked him. I liked I liked him. But he just couldn't work the WWE style. Should have went NXT first. Definitely would have benefited better now with this new WWE landscape, with a new NXT Performance Center, and the partnership with AEW or AAA, AAA, than he would have back in 2011. He was actually one of Triple H's first creative products when he got, pushed up in the company. So that sucks. But, so that's AEW. Commander got injured, so I guess they turned it into, him getting attacked to sell the injury. But, I'm trying to see what else. So, SmackDown-wise, I'm going to tell you my thoughts on some things and what you should go see, what you should seek out. R-Truth attacked Cena twice. Cena was... I truly hope Cena don't do no petty shit and be like, tonight you got 2 out of my 19 whatever left appearances. Cena had like 2 promos. He had one with Cody, LA Knight, and Randy Orton. And then later he had one with CM Punk. He got attacked after the one with Cody, LA Knight, and Orton by R-Truth. And then he got attacked again after the one with Punk, which, like I said, the Punk one was really good. I have a shitty memory, so I can't really tell you what really stuck out to me quote-wise from it, other than CM Punk basically saying, like, hey, you're me now. Talking about you're going to ruin wrestling and leave with the championship. You're basically trying to put on your best CM Punk rendition. And Cena didn't really talk much during it. He just kind of listened. He just kind of let Punk shoot. And right after Punk left the ring, because there was a part where he forgot his lines, you could tell. He even acknowledged, like, sorry, guys, I got a lot on my mind. I got to get a lot off my chest, which is a callback to the 2011 promo, the pipe bomb. Right after he left the ring, R-Truth attacked him again. So there was a point where Cena was going off on Nick Aldis in the back, and he flipped his hat back around, and he looked just like he did, because he had on like a blue and white shirt, like a white shirt with blue accents on it, the Last Time Is Now shirt, and it kind of looked like his shirt, or at least it reminded me of the shirt he had during the Here Comes the Pain commercial, and he flipped his hat back. I'm like, Cena's just doing fan service at this point. Like, he's doing all these callbacks to, previous looks and promos and such, and he flipped his hat back. I'm like, oh, he just turned to Thugonomics Cena for like 2 seconds after he got attacked the first time by R-Truth. So R-Truth is going to have a match against Cena next week on SmackDown, and I'm with you guys. Like, I'm wondering this whole new R-Truth, serious R-Truth thing is going to turn into a Kofi Mania Daniel Bryan pivot situation, where it's like, okay, we're going to go with the person who's organic. We're going to pivot because this guy's organically getting over and we need to run with it. Just like Jay did, you know what I'm saying? At least we got a title run out of Jay. I would like R-Truth to get a title run, even if it's a short one, and Cena wins it right back. If this is his last run, let's let him go out with a bang. Let's give him a proper program, a proper title victory, and then we can rectify this whole situation of him being released completely. So there's that. But you definitely got to see Randy Orton having fun. I definitely am going to leave you a link for the Cena, all the Cena promos. Mostly the one with CM Punk, because Punk was pipe bombing, but, it's, I don't know if it'd be one of his top 10 ones, but it was really good. So I'll leave you with that. What I had to say about Mr. Iguana is basically he had a situation. There was an interview, I guess, going around where he said he's going to skip NXT and go straight to the main roster because of how well his shirt was selling and stuff like that. They got him heat. Because if we've learned anything from even the Muhammad Hassan recent Dark Side of Ring episode, people who are already there don't really like to see people get fast-tracked. It's like when you go donate plasma, which I did and fucked my arm up. I'm recovering, you know. I say give it another 2 more weeks and my arm may be back to normal, but I wanted to go donate plasma and they blew a vein. All right. But when you go so long without donating and you come back and donate again, they treat you like a new registrar. So when you go in and it's your first time, you skip the line. Nobody wants you to skip the line. Even more so, nobody wants to hear that you're telling them that you're skipping the line. And that's what happened with Mr. Iguana. Allegedly, he has heat because he spoke about how the plan is for him to get fast-tracked to the main roster because of how well his merch is selling and that he's going to make them a lot of money and be marketable. And he did get over. In one match, he got over. And he's not new. He's been around for at least 20 years doing this. He had hair a long time ago. I even seen on Instagram somebody had a picture of Goldust from an earlier episode of Raw where he was dressed up like rest in peace to Crocodile Hunter, Steve Irwin. And it was like green and black paint and he looked like an iguana. So it's like, oh, here's a picture of Mr. Iguana from 2002 as Goldust. But even like Jim Cornette was saying, like heaping praise like Mr. Iguana. The only thing he said is just like it just, you know, I don't not like fun. I just, you know, it's a good performance for what it is, just not as a wrestling thing, you know. So when you can even get Jim Cornette to say like, hey, you know, for what you did, it was really good. That to me is when you're really over. Because Jim Cornette really doesn't like characters like that for the most part. He hates Orange Cassidy. But he gave some praise to Mr. Iguana. He just said like, hey, it's good for what it is. He did everything that he's doing well, but for wrestling, I don't want to see it on wrestling. You know, put on who's America's Got Talent or something, I guess. I like Mr. Iguana. I hope he doesn't ruffle any feathers and goes to the main roster with a Sin Cara like I'm above NXT attitude. Because you don't want to get any type of heat. You're already coming in the heat. So to already say that is probably insult to injury because everybody's already jealous in the business. Wrestling business is very cutthroat. And people do not like people getting pushed when they've been there for years grinding and you just become an overnight sensation. Whether organically or because the brass in the back pushed you to be that way. People don't like that. So I hope he don't get heat because I love the character. And I definitely think he's going to sell a lot of fucking money. You know, he's going to be money. They still got money in Penta. And Ray Phoenix they have yet to completely capitalize on. Karrion Kross still selling a shitload of shirts. So right now, it's a good place from a merchandising standpoint, but I've been hearing shit that TKO is in a lot of debt. And I don't know the validity of that. I mean, maybe that is the reason why they're going to Las Vegas again, because I just think the days of being able to afford to go to a WWE show are slowly creeping to a crawl or end. And I don't like that because, you know, wrestling events should be a family thing. It shouldn't be a luxury thing, you know. And I just really hate that they're going back to Las Vegas. But I spoke on that last week's Dog's Day. And The only other thing I'm sending you guys a link to is basically Priscilla Kelly had a match. You may know her as Gigi Dolan. She actually has a YouTube channel, which I'll link you guys to. And she's got one video on there. She only posted just a day ago. Which I'm glad she's doing all right, because she had an alarming face, and a very alarming social media post the other day too. But she had a match back with her significant other, Zachary Wentz, and got kicked in the leg and got legitimately injured. So how fucking tough is that? You get your first match on the scene back, only to get injured by your lover from a kick. And it's funny because I was just watching MMA compilations earlier, and one was about the most brutal check kicks and people breaking their ankles after kicking somebody in the shin and stuff like that. And then I see that as soon as I go to Instagram trying to get things to link on my video for you guys. I see that. Poor girl just can't catch a break at all. Well, she did, but not that kind of break. You know what I'm saying. Anyway, I really hope that you liked this video. But maybe you didn't like it. You may even hate it. But one thing, you got to learn to live with it. I still need to work on that catchphrase. I'm going to get it, though.